As millions of Americans try to figure out the path to the presidency, the 270 delegates, we're focused on second stimulus. And we're focused on getting you to the finish line. And we already know how many purple-powered delegates we have. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LALATE. I'm glad that you joined me in a crisp, sort of cold, early morning. It's Wednesday morning. It's the bottom of the hour. Early Mornings LALATE, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 here on the West Coast. So I am so glad that you tuned in. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. It's Wednesday, almost halfway through the week. Hump day. Well, actually, it is halfway through the week, dude. It's just like hello. It's hump day. So jump over the hump and go to the Fuzz channel, subscribe, because we're going to get through this together. If you've not subscribed and become part of this community, it really is a great community. The followers I've called are Purple Power. So if you hear that terminology during this video, I'm referring to the family of viewers of this channel. Join and become part of the incredible community. It costs nothing to subscribe. Just press a button, which is like, just hit the button. Crush the button. I should do that. Crush the button. Also, like this video or crush the like button on this video because it really helps on the algorithm. You were doing a great job of that yesterday. Boy, Early Mornings LALATE has now ranked number 1 2 days in a row, so let's do it again. This is the most watched Early Mornings broadcast there is out there, and it comes before Mornings LALATE every day, which is actually at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after this broadcast. This, however, is a little bit different. Yes, this is an enhanced viewing experience. If you're new to this channel, Early Mornings LALATE is an instant premiere. So the video is premiering for the first time at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with an enhanced viewing experience. And what is that? It's to the right. No, we're not having waffles and fried chicken on the right. It's a live chat. It's a live chat. You can chat with your Purple Power buddy friends. Yeah, it's early. I'm just still getting woken up. Need another cup of coffee. And you can chat with your Purple Power buddies. You can talk about the bacon. You can talk about the eggs. You can talk about Mr. Cornier here. And you can talk about everything, including what's going on today. So that live chat is to the right, and I'm going to be right here. And let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that there's a lot of talk about stimulus, but there's also a lot of talk about 270, that magic number to determine who's going to be the president. You need 270 delegates to win the Electoral College. You need 270 votes, and those votes could come down to 9 states. Now, there's a lot of reports about a lot of things. And we all say, I don't believe polls. Yeah, we heard that before. But there's a lot of new reports out today, which I actually found really fascinating. So I know you got to enjoy this. And it talks about the path to 270. Now, why is 270 so important for stimulus? Because ultimately it determines whether or not the president wins the popular vote or not. The president's popular vote is really sort of important this time for stimulus, and I've got to tell you why. Because ultimately, if the president wins the popular vote in these swing states, then the senatorial races in these swing states may also be won by his party, the GOP. And that could tee up the House staying Democratic, but the Senate remaining Republican. Yes. You know, when we talk about 270, we talk about the number of people to get to the Electoral College of 270, the magic number. That's not talking about the popular vote. And so what's important to understand is we need to see who would be in line to get our stimulus. Is it the president with Mitch and the GOP back? Is the president with a Democratic Senate? Is it Biden with Mitch and the GOP back? Or is it Biden with a Democratic Senate? There's literally those 4 possibilities. And then there's more. And then there's more. Biden curtain number 1. Then you have everything else after that. You have contested elections. That's the first one. Then you have runoffs. Yes, we could have runoffs. We could never be done with this. We'll just be doing these videos, till I run out of purple shirts. You can have runoffs. Then you can have a lot of other things. And ultimately, everyone's going to be like, oh, come on already. Just do the executive order. Come on, Mr. President. And I don't know if he's considered all these things or not. I mean, there's a new New York Times, New York Post article out that Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of the president, has already prepared for the president's next job as head of a media conglomerate, much like a Fox News, if he does not get reelected. Apparently, they were not happy that story got out. But let me give you this story. Think about it this way. If the president wins every state, this is talking about Trump, let's take 3 of the Great Lakes states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and put them in, and then put them to the side for a second. If the president wins one of the rest of the states he won in 2016 and carries Pennsylvania, he gets 280 electoral votes. That's 10 more than needed. Okay. Someone's doing their math. This is clearly not Larry Kudlow. If he carries Wisconsin out of those 3 states, only Wisconsin, he gets 270. He carries Michigan out of those 3 states. He loses Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, he gets 276. So the path to the victory lies in these states. Ooh. That was a quote by, I forgot who said that. I don't know. It wasn't Nancy Pelosi. It's a great quote. The combination of September 29th, this combination of these states could be the determining factor for your stimulus. Oh my God. The Rust Belt strategy will require Trump to carry every other state he won in 2016, and the numbers are tied in certain Sun Belt states like North Carolina, Arizona. The president is looking at different things in different places. Biden leads 12 points in Michigan, 5 points in Pennsylvania, 5 points in Wisconsin. But when you look at these 9 states, and that you look at Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, then all you have to do is just get 2 of those, and maybe you're fine. I don't know. It's even a little too complicated for me. But the point is that no one knows the answer. That's why I'm giving you this example. You're owed multiple stimulus checks. Those stimulus checks should be coming to you. How much of the stimulus checks? When should you be getting? How much FPUC? How much hazard pay? And why is everyone focused on 270? Yeah. They're focused on 270 because it's a number they can understand for the Electoral College and the presidency, but they don't understand where $1,200 came from. Yeah, have them explain that to me too. No one understands where this $1,200 stimulus check amount came from. And Senator Harris, who's trying to win on Tuesday night as well for VP with the Biden ticket, she doesn't understand where $1,200 came from. Unfortunately, ever since she was picked as VP nominee, she hasn't repeated that statement. No one understands where $1,200 stimulus check comes from. And no one understands where Nancy Pelosi's $600 FPUC number is coming from. And if you see a recurring trend here, shout out really loud. I certainly know what happened with the $600 FPUC because there's a lot of news articles about it if you go way back to March. What happened at the time was that there was no such thing as FPUC. There was no such thing as enhanced unemployment benefits. They saw the pandemic hitting. They said, oh my God, we need more money coming to our citizens. Unemployment and will not cut it. Oh, and we have to have money for our independent contractors. So they created PUA. Thank God. I mean, that was one of the best things they created. But then they said that's still not enough money. So we need to give them additional sums of money. They were literally running around with their head cut off and they simply did not know the number. And so the news articles talk about how they looked at trying to determine the number and they literally had just a few days and they just sort of came up with 600 and they're like, okay, done. And they just went with $600. It literally was just like that. There was no math to it. It just was that. Now, since then, the reason why Mitch and Steve and Donald don't want to give $600 is because there was a series of allegations over the summer that $600 with what it's going on top of is more than people would normally get. And that was only supported in all the months that I've been recording by one analyst report. Can you imagine that the fight against $600 a week for FPUC is based upon one analyst report? That analyst report that said 45% of all Americans who received FPUC got more on FPUC than they were when they were employed. I can't believe the report because it's the only report that says it. So when we're looking at your stimulus checks, where are the reports that explain where $1,200 came from? There are none. Earth to Mars, there are none. Looking for fine life in distant galaxies, you won't find it, and you won't find an explanation for where $1,200 stimulus checks came from. As we sit here the new morning, you know that your old multiple stimulus checks, your old multiple stimulus checks back to April. The question is at what number value? I don't know where these people came up with $1,200, and they don't know where they came up with it. And the good news is that we don't have to stay on it. We don't have to stay on $1,200 a week, a month. We don't have to stay on $600 a week of FPUC. We don't have to stay on these numbers because these were just numbers that someone came up with, and that people said, yeah, okay, done. And they literally didn't think them through. And that's why we're in the problem where we're at now. I have fully recorded enough videos to tell you that I always was worried about hazard pay being $10,000. I got to tell you, as soon as I started recording the first videos of hazard pay and saying, hey, $10,000, $10,000, $10,000, I had a lot of people that just kept on jumping in the comments who are not really subscribed to this channel. They're like, where do I get that $10,000? Can I get that $10,000 tomorrow? Where's that $10,000? And it just smelled like a lot of people who don't qualify for it were trying to sort of jump into the discourse. And I saw their requests. They were like, I dance in Atlanta late night, and I was wondering if I can get the $10,000. I'm a frontline worker, not that frontline, the other frontline. I was like, no, this is not for you. That's not, this is getting very hazardous, the conversation. And so there was a lot of that. It was a lot of that. And if you think I'm being facetious, no. I mean, I saw it during the EIDL loan periods of times. There was a whole period of time in which we knew that there was exotic dancers getting EIDL loans, claiming that their business was impacted by the pandemic. Now, artists are not entitled to EIDL loans, artistic people. And so what they did was, no, adult performers are not entitled to EIDL loans, so they call them artists. They were artists, taking off their clothes was an artistry. And so I think we're sort of back at that same point now where we're looking at $1,200 stimulus check and we're like, Congress, it needs to be bigger. No one came up with that $1,200. And what's sad as I sit here today on a Wednesday morning is that as time has gone by, they've reduced this check. It was once $1,200, then it was $1,000. Then it was 500. It keeps on getting smaller. As the pandemic rages on, it gets smaller. I mean, this is, what is this, reverse stimulus? It's like Benjamin Button's stimulus. What are we doing here? And so that was that. Trump overnight was very pissed off about Fox News cutting off him and cutting to something for Biden and Obama. Fox put Obama on at a time, and they put Sleepy Joe on at the same time. What they should do is they should show the pictures of Sleepy Joe yesterday when he rushed to Pennsylvania because he saw I had 25,000 people at an event. He rushed to Pennsylvania, and he did a statement, and he got lost in the fog. He got lost in the fog. They should show that he got lost in the fog. Or they should show the picture where he called me George. He thought I was George. And I guess he was talking about George Bush, but he thought I was George. And they should show that. Fox is very disappointing. They should have shown what happened to Roger Ailes. I can tell you that. There's fog, and then there's George. Oh boy, it's going to be a good day. It's okay. Let me go with some incredible comments from yesterday before I lose it in the fog. I might disappear in the fog. There's not 25,000 people here yet. Terry Leonard, that people need help with bills and other food. Barbara Patterson, we need our darn money now and more than one check. We the people are losing everything. Christo, we need itemized statements for the government that tells us what the government spends on. Oh boy, I love you, Crystal Little. I mean, that was a week and a half of recordings where I said, Congress is not telling us what's going into Nancy's bill. They're not giving this line item, and nor is Steve Mnuchin. Tina, I'm not a financial guru, but I'm learning a lot thanks to LA. Isn't a conflict of interest for Wall Street to fund Biden? That sounds so illegal. No, what they do is lobbyists give money to, that's the concept of lobbying, that so long as they don't, give you a contract. What is illegal is if, the airlines gave money to a candidate and the candidate turned around and gave that airline a big financial contract. That's illegal. But no, it's not. LALATE, COLA doesn't really matter. If COLA goes up, the government will lower the food stamps. I get a lot of that. COLA goes one way, another thing goes another way. I get that. 24 hours in the Hill voted and swore in the Supreme Court justice, and American people can't even get a stimulus check. Amen. Norma, I'm so mad. Eva, they don't care about the stock market crashing. We crash, already did. Anyone care? No. Norma Peck, all the other countries are helping their people, but not the United States, and that's the truth. Jerome Powell talks about that a lot. 33% of the GDP of other countries has been spent on stimulus. Our country's only spent 15%. Boy, if you have questions or comments in today's video, drop in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. And go to the French channel and like this video and subscribe because, boy, there's a lot coming up today. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to be here. You're going to be here. And at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the fun continues. Also like this video. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay by life for more.